podcastjuice.net.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to podcastjuice.net. You're listening to The Michael Dean Show. You're listening to Geeked Out. You're listening to four individuals talking to a mic, but I'm the one talking right now. But today we are talking about Captain America Civil War. The movie comes out May 6th, I believe. But our resident movie reviewer has seen the movie, so he's going to give us a review and his thoughts. But to be clear, we will be absolutely spoiler-free because the other three of us have not seen the movie, and I don't want to know too much about it, although I know enough, but I don't want to know the good stuff. So,
well, you know my credo. I would never spoil it. So
great. I appreciate that, and listeners appreciate it. So, Mr. Sean Hill, without further ado, I know they're like, shut up, Mike. Let's get into it. Tell us about Captain America Civil War. What were your thoughts?
Well, first of all, it should have been called Avengers 2.5, first of all. It's essentially an Avengers movie, only missing Thor and Hulk. I will say this right off the bat. For me, at least, it was nowhere near as good as the previous installment. It seemed to me that there were just too many people in the movie. It was full. The basic premise is, and I believe this is in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. The government wants to put the team in check as far as what they can and can't do, sort of accountability and sending them on assignments versus them just going willy-nilly and causing havoc and destruction. So it's basically kind of like the things we've talked about with Batman and Superman, with all the wanton destruction. There's never any feedback from that. There's never any consequence to that. So this film kind of addresses that. Captain America is more of, hey, let's go and wreck shop. Let's go where we need to go. Iron Man is more, no, we need to be in check. We can't be just going where we want and causing all this damage. He's still kind of in his feelings about Ultron and other events that have happened. So he's on the other side. The team divides up, as you guys probably know already, who's on whose side, so I won't go into all that. And basically it's a long version of Batman v Superman, only with more characters. Black Panther makes an appearance. I won't go into details as to how he plays into the story, but he was very the preview audience I saw it with, which is just throwing this out there, was I would say 98 to 99% a white audience, but he got the biggest round of applause from the fans, which I was kind of shocked. I didn't know that he was that popular. Do we all know who's in the movie as far as what characters? Because I don't know if this is supposed to be a surprise.
Well, in the trailer we see Spider-Man. We see
all right. Because I don't watch trailers, as the listeners probably know. Spider-Man is in the film. He got a big reception, and I actually like this kid. He was he's less geeky than Tobey Maguire. And I didn't see the recent incarnation, so I can't compare. What's the guy's name? Andrew Garfield, is it?
Yep.
Okay, I haven't seen his Spider-Man, so I don't know but he's actually in the film a lot more than the trailer would lead you to believe, and I won't say anything more on that. Like I say, overall, it was good, not great. I haven't actually written it down in a review yet, but I would give it right now. I would give it 2.5 out of 4. Whereas I gave Winter Soldier, I think I gave it 3.5 out of 4. So for me, at least, it's a step down, but it's still worth seeing. And I think we talked about this on the show a week ago or 2 weeks ago. The scene in the airport the sequence in the airport rather, is worth the price of admission alone. That was just a spectacular sequence where basically the two sides go at each other. So
let me ask you a question. You didn't mention him. As this is a sequel to The Winter Soldier, how was the Winter Soldier story handled?
It was kind of convoluted, at least to me. They give him some backstory, but it never really pays off until kind of the end. I mean, um, again, trying not to spoil stuff. His role was a little bit limited than I thought it was going to be, given the post-credit sequence in, I believe, Age of Ultron. Is that where we see him again?
Yep.
Okay. Which kind of semi-spoiler. That scene is actually in this movie, which I think that's the first time that's ever happened. Which was, I was like, I've seen this before. Where have I seen this? Oh, that was the end credit. So that scene comes about halfway through. So, yeah.
Are you moving something or something? You're talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I might be. Here, let me hold the mic. Okay.
There you go. Oh, beautiful. Oh, I'm a little shocked at your rating. It seems kind of low, man.
I just, like I said, I think because of the level of characters that we have in here, we get the introduction of Black Panther, but we don't really get much on him background wise. I know he's got a movie coming up and that'll probably be covered, but his motivations for what he does makes perfect sense. It's kind of like almost Fantastic Four, where we don't really get to see the genesis. We just see the aftermath. And for me, with the new character, I'm like, just, let's get to know because we know the other folks, but him and Spider-Man is kind of the same thing. We don't really get any background on Spider-Man either. He just is Spider-Man already, and we don't really know. I know,
I'm okay with
folks are the what. Well, I mean, again, I'm always looking at from just an average Joe Blow. I know people more than likely know who Spider-Man is and his backstory, but it would still be nice just to give a little something. But again, I think this movie ran 2.5 hours, and with all the characters, you can't do that. But there still should be a way to kind of work that in. It just seemed to me it was just overstuffed. Like I said, to me it was Avengers 2.5. I don't know why they really didn't call it that or go in that direction with it. It's not really a Captain America movie like Winter Soldier was.
Interesting. I think probably with Spider-Man, because I guess their assumption is this character. There's been, 5 movies?
Yeah.
Probably that sort of show his origin, and I guess their assumption is you already know who this guy is. We don't need to introduce him. But I'm curious, because I don't know how familiar you are with the Black Panther character. And
Not at all.
And so you're saying that you wanted to have a little more background on him, though.
Right.
Okay. That's fair for a person who's not into comic books, I guess. All right.
Yeah. I mean, again, they did like a Cliff Note version of he has one line to explain his motivations, and so okay, I get that, but there's still more that we could have seen to explain what he does, why he does. Like for instance, we've seen this in the trailer, so this is not a spoiler. We know he's super fast, right? But there's really no explanation as to why that is.
But let me ask you this. This is another hot button question. So you've seen Civil War, and you've seen Batman versus Superman. Now, let me preface this to say, you are not a comic book reader, correct?
Correct.
So you just going in, judging the movies, walking in the theater, and whatever story they tell you, that's the one you're going to judge it by. Is that a fair assessment?
That's 100% fair, yes.
Okay. With that said, of these 2 superhero movies, both of them are Titans, major DC, major Marvel movie. Which one did you enjoy watching? Or let me say this. There's 2 questions. Which one did you enjoy watching, and which one do you think is a better film?
I enjoyed watching Batman v Superman more than this, but I think Captain America Civil War is a better film.
Okay.
What?
Well, explain that.
Right.
Yeah. And I can kind of see what you're saying, but go ahead. And I haven't
Something
seen.
like as a film critic with all the flaws of that film, how can you say you enjoyed it more?
Well, I will explain. Well, first of all, I am a Superman fan, so that in itself would lead me to enjoy. I'm not a fan of most of the characters in Civil War, so I'm not invested in them. Whereas I am with Batman. I think the level.
So
I think
just let you know, I have a follow-up question to that, but
okay. I think for me, and I know I'll probably get the hate mail here, but I think Jesse Eisenberg's performance for me made the movie fun to watch, because again, I just like what he did with to make things light and make things semi unserious like the other parts of the film. But I think Civil War is a better made film. I mean, there's less CGI, more practical effects, better story, more emotional stuff. So I think it's a better film. But for me, I just enjoyed watching Batman v Superman more.
okay. So you said something. You said that you're a Superman fan, so that helped your enjoyment of why you say you enjoy Batman v Superman. So you're trying to tell me on your mantle there is a Blu-ray disc of Superman for The Quest for Peace, correct?
No, I have only seen that movie once and refused to watch it again.
Okay.
But I have the other three. Yes.
Oh Lord.
Where are you going with this, Ant?
I'm just
Because he said because Superman is in the film. That's why I enjoyed it more. I'm like, so you enjoy A Quest for Peace too? Like because of Superman?
Oh, no one enjoyed The Quest.
Okay.
That is just an awful movie.
Okay. All right, Ant. Interesting. Jace, did you have any questions about the movie?
My one question, it might be kind of spoilery, but let me know if it is. With Black Panther, do we see him as T'Challa at all?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's all.
All right.
And I'll say this: his Chadwick's accent is very good.
Okay,
It's
cool.
very, very. I won't say spot on because I don't know any folks from that region, but to my ear it sounded perfect.
Was he like Captain America, motherfucker?
Was it better than Will Smith?
It was better than Will Smith's. Yes.
Well, that's not saying much.
I always say they should have casted Michael Blackson. Ant got that.
And just so everyone knows, there's no post credit sequence.
Is there a
Post?
There's a mid credit sequence,
Yeah,
but there's
right.
not a post credit sequence.
I wonder if they didn't show that early. I think is the situation. Because that'd be they wouldn't want these to leak out before the movie came out. And I think they've done this. They don't normally show the post credits to the early screens, Marvel movies.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
Well, because I always see them early, and there's always a post credit at the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some Doctor Strange at the super end when they release it.
I want to talk about real quick the fans that were there for the movie. So this wasn't a press screening. This was a special fan screening. San Diego was one of the cities that won the special screening. So I went as John Q. Public, not as Sean Hill Street Views. So I'm in line, I didn't stand in line too long, but I'm there like everyone else. So we get in and sitting down, and now, so I've never really been to a screening just quite like this. So people start yelling out, "Team Iron Man, Team Cap," and I'm sitting there going, "Wow, I'm in Geekville right now." and then everyone starts chanting which side they're on. So you got half the theaters chanting Team Iron Man, Team Iron, the other side screaming, Team Cap, Team Cap, and I'm like, what in the world have I gotten myself into? And with every character introduction, there was this just eruption. You would have thought that the people were walking in the theater. I mean, just when they showed Iron Man the first time, when they showed Spider-Man, Black Panther.
Hey, this is Ryan with Screen Rant's feature news of the day.
Ant-Man, and Ant-Man actually got a pretty decent response. So I just thought that was humorous. But then you would miss stuff that they were saying, like, okay, shut up. We want to hear the dialogue of what they're saying. If I had to base it on the crowd, like I sometimes do, the crowd seemed to really, really, really enjoy it. But again, these are people who are going to enjoy it because they, a lot of them had been in line for 7 hours to watch it. And standing in line all that time did not damper their enthusiasm. So, based on the crowd, I would say just laughter and cheering and all of that stuff. I would say it got a better reaction or reception than Batman versus Superman when I saw that screening.
Is it safe to say this seems to me, and I can't wait to see it. I'm very much looking forward to it. It seems like this is going to be a great summer blockbuster, action flick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, does it play like you have a good time watching this movie?
Yeah, you can, because every character gets their moment. There's a lot of humor in it. That comes out of the characters. Spider-Man has some very funny stuff. Ant-Man, of course, has some very funny lines. Robert Downey Jr. is always Robert Downey Jr. So you've got those beats that that are funny. I think, and again, to me it really doesn't play like a summer movie because it's more story oriented than your typical, like Batman v Superman. I think that's more of a popcorn movie than this. There's less spectacle in this, just kind of like Winter Soldier was more grounded in reality and more plot driven, whereas this, although the plot is is very, very minor. I mean, it's basically them fighting over control of who's going to lead the team. So I think there's probably going to be something else that's more summer, but I think that it will definitely, it could be in the discussion, but I think it's not a traditional summer film in that tradition.
Last question, because this was a big thing in Winter Soldier to me, and I loved it for that. The fights, the hits, the thing that really opened my eye when Winter Soldier first started, and you see Cap, does the mission on that boat, and you really saw, like, when he hit cats, he was slamming them and busting, hitting them in the chest, they go flying, and he was flipping. So just tell me quickly, the fights, and do we still get that? And it seemed like it was a brutal impacts, and like, whoa, shit. Is that in the movie?
There's more of that. There's lots of that.
And I'm all there. Yeah, that's all you need to tell me.
Yeah, and especially during the airport fight sequence, there's a lot of it in that. But there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of shield play that's actually kind of funny and humorous too. So they kind of are playing up that. But yes, there are the brutal flying impacts that you so seek, sir.
Oh, and there. So take it salt. That's a star just for that. So. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Captain America Civil War early review. No spoilers. Let us know what you thought. We are all going to see the movie for ourselves. March 5th, I believe, is probably that Thursday. So definitely check that out.